use others to take things that they want. Princess, why are we here? He really doesn't remember anything about last night. I guess his memories must truly be separate from Varg's. I've been trying to remember, but my memory feels like they're slipping through my fingers. Why won't you talk to me, Princess? If I said or did something wrong yesterday, I'm sorry. You didn't do anything wrong, Fritz. He was the one at fault, not you. He? When I opened my mouth to tell him about Varg, I found that the words are stuck in my throat. I turned away after a few moments, the gloom settling back on my shoulders. But after hearing about what Varg said, I don't have the courage to tell him. Not yet. You think Fritz is some great honor roll knight. Well, if that's true, his intentions would need to be good to the core. And then you know what? I wouldn't exist. Can't make something from nothing. Some part of your precious Fritz became me, Princess. There was already something dark and twisted in his soul. The curse just brought it to life, and now here I am. Why won't you look at me? Have I been a fool to be so blindly trust Fritz all this time too? Princess? Princess, you are here. Sir Mithros, the preparations are complete. You are now free to enter your old home. Sir Mithros pushes open the gates and walks through. I take a deep breath, then follow after him. I have so many emotions inside of me right now that I cannot even begin to parse through them. Before I take more than a few steps forward, Fritz's finger curls around my wrist. Princess, what is happening? The look in his eyes is familiar. He wears the same concern and worry for me that he always does. He seems every bit himself, but he is no longer the same person to me. I'm going home, Fritz. I pull my arm away from his grasp and follow Sir Mithros into the palace without looking back. Resurrection? Tell me the story again. Do you never tire of that story, love? Please. Well, since you asked so nicely, once upon a time there was a queen who had a daughter that she loved very much. But the kingdom the queen ruled was a cruel and mean place. The people were liars and thieves, and it was terribly dangerous. But the queen knew that the kingdom would never be safe for her beloved daughter if she didn't work to change it. So the queen worked day in and day out. With magic! Hush, dear. So the queen worked day and night and used her magic to take bad people's energy away from them so they couldn't cheat and still lie. And then the queen made sure that the energy would stay with her and her beloved daughter so nothing could harm them ever again. And the queen and her daughter lived happily ever after. There are 2 days remaining until my 18th birthday. I've been living in the palace for the last few months, and while it was not what I expected, it is still not so dissimilar that I am uncomfortable. I get to stay in my own room, and I am served the same food as my occupants of the palace, only now I am not expected to share my meals with the king and his family. It was so strange that nobody even asked who I am, not even the king. But that didn't matter. What is important is that I am back in the palace. Only a witch like Sir Mithros could have orchestrated all of this. Magic wasn't all I needed to bring you back here. Convenient, isn't it? Who exactly are you, Sir Mithros? What is a witch like you doing in the palace? I am your mother's faithful servant, Your Highness. But I don't recall ever seeing you here until after Mother passed away. I did not work within the palace at the time, but once your mother passed, I took a job here to fulfill her wishes to protect you. I was consumed with worry when you disappeared all those months ago. I suspected immediately that we were cursed and that the Lucis bear had acted to keep you concealed from me. If only you could understand the relief I felt when I learned that Fritz had found you. How will you prove that you're not like the people at the Martian? That you will not lie to me or betray me? Sir Mithros kneels in front of me and places a hand over his heart. I made a promise to my queen, and I give you my undying loyalty, princess. I would protect you with my life. Him saying that does little to convince me that I can trust him. Everything I am doing is in service to my queen and my princess. So what is it that Mother requires me to do? Patience. I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise. Blood sacrifice! Ha! Sir Mithros claims he is Mother's faithful servant. That should be enough reason for me to trust him, but I'm still on edge. What is the surprise he has in store for me? My thoughts drift back to the occupants of the Martian. They kept saying that they all cared for me, yet I have not heard from them at all. Even Rob, who lives here, I barely even see him. And Fritz. Since I moved to the palace, I have been seeing less and less of Fritz, and more of Varg. In the beginning, I continually asked Fritz about his memories of specific days, of the times when he was Varg. Fritz never seemed to recall anything. He just smiled at me sheepishly and told me that his age was probably making his memory worse. Fritz isn't even that old. Since then, things have changed. I no longer bother asking Fritz about things he surely does not remember. Fritz does not remember anything related to Varg. Yet Varg retains all of his memories as Fritz. I know I should tell Fritz about Varg, but it is the fear that he would not believe me, but also something much worse. I'm worried that whatever it is inside of Fritz will only lash out at me, that part of him that Varg came from. If I were Fritz, I would not be able to believe it either. I look toward my shelf of dolls, unable to shake my feelings of disquiet. The dolls are the same as always, their glassy gazes focused on nothing and everything. You look so empty without... No, I do not miss her. I don't miss anyone. Right? The sound of footsteps pulls me out of my thoughts. Who else is wandering the halls at this time of night? I'm unable to restrain my curiosity, and the emotion soon drives me from my room and out in the hallway. I gingerly follow the faded footsteps down the hallway, and there I see two familiar people. Sir Mithros and Sir Alcaster? I grow impatient. 2 days is an insignificant amount of time when you've already waited so long. I have been waiting years. The princess is safe and will continue to be safe, just as you have required. Our agreement was clear, Sir Alcaster. I will not help you until after the princess turns 18. I would remember the sort of aid you have requested of me. What prevents us from killing Gennaro now? A small gasp comes from my mouth and I'm unable to muffle it in time, despite the fact that I'm holding my hands up to my lips to keep myself from shouting. I stop breathing even as my mind whirls. Kill the king? Why would Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros want to do that? A sound? Do not try and distract me. What do we lose by acting now? We could lose everything if we act too hastily. I think it would do you good to learn some patience from your son. Varg? Sir Alcaster? Varg, what a pleasant surprise. Mithros smirks as Varg moves to stand just off the side of the two men, his expression solemn. I trust that you have tamed Fritz. What are you talking about? Have you not noticed? Even when your own son is being overwhelmed, Varg is gaining control slowly but surely. He no longer has to wait for Fritz's consciousness to descend into sleep. In a few weeks, perhaps even days, Varg may be able to help us during the day.
Then that's why I've only seen Varg at night. If he can only act during the day as well, what will happen to Fritz?
I hope you're not trying to avoid your mission and staying here. I'm curious. Perhaps Fritz is stronger than you think. That weakling? Don't make me laugh. I just find this extremely boring. Varg shrugs before walking away. How interesting. I do not approve of his methods. What would you have me do? Oh, what would you have me do to improve him? He completes every task you give him. He has softened. Well, let's see if he just completes this task. We will know for certain where his loyalties lie. As Sir Mithros and Sir Alcaster begin to walk away, I exhale. I feel a slight shudder when Sir Mithros stops and gazes behind him, his eyes wandering to my hiding place at the end of the hall. My heart thumps loudly in my ears as I wait to hear him leave. The wind has a bitter chill to it tonight, like ice. Mithros turns on his heels with a slight twitch of his lips before he disappears. I make my way back to the room in a daze. My whole body feels weak, and when I eventually get to my bed, I crash down on it feeling numb.
They mean to kill the king, but why? Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros are two of his most trusted advisors. What could the king have done to make them desire his death? And why does Sir Mithros want to wait until I'm 18? What happens then? Does this have to do with anything about the gift he was talking about? Does Sir Mithros plan on using me for something?
Oh, she's so smart. I clench my hands into fists and inhale sharply. I think of the other things that came up in conversation.
They said that Varg might be able to act during the day soon. Does this mean Fritz will disappear?
My breath catches in my throat at the thought. Princess.
There's no need to look after me like that.
It's my job to know you, Princess. And right now I know something's not right.
It is your job to protect me. Knowing me is a very different thing.
Princess, just please,
Perhaps you should worry about yourself.
My job as a knight is to protect my charge. To put their life before mine. If I can't protect you, how can I call myself a knight? Fritz reaches out as if to touch me, but I shrink away.
Do not touch me.
Sorry, Princess, just please know that I'm always here if you want to talk.
If Fritz disappears, what will happen?
Oh, I don't know. If he disappears, you're gonna be super sad. I know I will be. I almost jump when I hear someone shouting just outside my door. Quickly, Emmeline!
Rod?
I quickly stand up and move toward my door, pulling it open to catch a glimpse of the outside. I end up opening the door into Rod's face. He comes to an abrupt stop and glares at the door that blocks his straight path. His hand is outstretched as if he is meant to reach for my door.
Rod? Emmeline? It's so late. What are they doing out of their rooms?
Rod's fingers tighten over Emmeline's hand. They both look exhausted, and Emmeline is on the verge of tears.
What is happening?
Rod seems to consider something before he finally comes to a silent conclusion. His eyes glare right into mine. Get out of the way. Rod's voice is colder than usual, even for him. Emmeline's eyes widen as she stares back at him in shock. Rod, but I thought... This isn't the time. So here's where the rabbits escaped.
Varg?
Varg is slowly making his way over to us, his posture relaxed, expression indifferent. He does not even look winded. Well, this is a complication. Hell yeah, help.
Is this the mission Sir Alcaster was referring to?
Rod tugs at Emmeline's wrist to prompt her into motion, but the two of them are too slow. In one swift movement, Vargas circled them and tripped Emmeline, toppling her to the floor. Varg moves forward to grab her. But before she can do so much as touch her, I jump into action, pushing Varg from the side. I move to stand up between Varg and Emmeline. I can hear Rod helping his sister up, but his eyes are trained on Varg.
What are you going to do with them?
Why do you care?
Why do I care? Well, because I know this isn't something Fritz would do.
Varg hesitates, giving Rod time to act. Rod throws a vial that breaks upon impact with the floor. It releases a cloud of smoke that envelops everything around it. I feel someone's fingers at my wrist, then I am being dragged away. When my vision clears, I see Emmeline standing before me, holding my wrist tightly. Come on!
What was that?
It was something Lady Parfait made for our escape.
Our escape?
Do you really think that Marcia gave up on you? We gotta move. We run toward the palace tunnels, a place I have not visited in many years.
I thought they barricaded this.
Not quite. Do you think we've lost them?
No, not yet.
Emmeline turns to me, her eyebrows drawn over her eyes in a look of sympathy. I'm so sorry you got caught up on this. I know that we were all meant to escape together according to Rod, but we weren't expecting it to be like this. It was difficult to get a hold of you with Varg hiking around. But thank you for what you did back there. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't helped us. I'm suddenly uncomfortable speaking to her, so I turn to face Rod instead.
What does Varg want with you?
My best guess is that he wants us dead. That can't be. How else would you explain the way he came after us, Eb?
Well, why would he want you dead?
Rod's bright eyes seem fiercer in the darkness of the tunnels. I think it must be what his master wants. After all, dogs only respond to orders. I'm offended, Prince. You. I whirl around, dread rising my chest as I turn to look at Varg, who is slowly catching up to us. This was meant to be quick. Varg looks at me, his eyes glittering with amusement. But as always, you complicate things, Princess. I cannot hide how much I am trembling, but I still hold out my arm to protect the siblings.
Go!
Not without you.
Go now!
Come on. I turn to Varg as the two flee. My body tenses as I wait for Varg to move.
I will stop them, or at least buy them some more time.
But Varg remains still as a statue. He remains rooted to the spot. I have no idea how long we stand there frozen in place. You never cease to amaze me. So what's going to happen now?
Were you going to kill them? He's not answering. Does that mean I'm right? Is this what Sir Alcaster ordered you to do?
Why else would I be here if not for an order?
Why would he want you to kill Rod and Emmeline? And why does he want to kill the king?
You overheard quite a bit, huh? Probably a little more than you should have. The tension in the air becomes palpable, and it becomes harder to breathe. Varg's finger tightened on his cane.
He wouldn't hurt me, would he?
Varg moves, and for a few moments I am frozen in terror. Then a word I had forgotten long ago suddenly comes to my lips unbidden. A word that Fritz once told me before. What?
Adjuva!
This time it is Varg that freezes. He raises his cane, but it never comes down. His eyes are wild, even though he hasn't moved. Suddenly he looks as if he is restraining himself. I can see the struggle on his contorted expression, then realize that he is fighting to stay in control.
It worked?
I remain still for a few moments, my mind racing. Varg drops to his knees, and I see the shadows forming beneath him. Tendrils of darkness snake their way up his body, beginning to engulf him.
This is what happened last time when he changed back to Fritz.
There is still awareness in Varg's eyes, however. His gaze is cold and accusatory. It remains that way even as the shadows creep their way up to his face. I find my feet again and rush past Varg into the depths of the palace. I run, too frightened of what I might find if I look back. Are you alright?
If you truly worried for my safety, then you should have told the king how unsafe it is for me to leave the palace. Isn't that a nice job, Fritz?
Do you have so little faith in me?
What?
Don't you trust me to keep you safe, princess? 3 years ago, when I swore I would give my life to yours, I meant it. I still do. I would never let anything harm you. Ever. Perhaps I need to make another promise to you, princess, so that I may ease your worries. Remember this carefully, okay? Adiuva.
What does that mean?
It's from an old language that no one speaks anymore. Is that Latin? It's what people used to say when they were calling for help.
Something to call when I need help?
If for any reason I'm not there and you need me, just say the word. Scream it at the top of your lungs if you need to. I promise I'll come running. A knight would never break a promise to his lady. Trust in me.
I have to go.
Hold up. What the hell does Adiuva mean? It is definitely Latin. Adiuva translates to Adiuva. The fuck, man? That is not any help. Adiuva Latin, maybe? Adiuvare. Main forms of Adiuvo, Adiuvare, Adiuvi, Adiufatus, Adiutus. What does it mean though? Is there not a direct translation of this? I guess not. Adiuva meaning? Fortis Fortuna Adiuvat. It's a proverb. Literally, the strong one's fortune helps, from Terence's comedy play Formio, line 203. Maybe I think it means strength. I have been awake for hours, unable to sleep. I stand at my window, waiting for anything to happen, but all is still beyond the glass window pane.
I have no idea what I ought to do. What's going to happen now? Should I tell someone? I returned to the palace because my room still feels like the safest place, but why? Am I here because I feel I need to tell the king what happened? Because I hope that Fritz will return? I don't even know if the king is still here. I haven't seen him at all.
My hand instinctively reaches out for my necklace, and I realize that there is an additional piece. Whoa! I look down and a small gasp escapes my lips when I notice a new piece of the glass slipper.
A new piece of the slipper? But how? What was my good deed?
I remember the night I helped Rod and Emmeline escape from Varg.
Was that a good deed?
Princess?
Fritz?
I've been looking for Prince Rod and Princess Emmeline. Have you seen them? My eyes are beginning to sting. I'm startled when I realize that there are tears burning my eyes. What's wrong? Varg is gaining control, but surely he is no longer has to wait for Prince's consciousness to descend into sleep. In a few weeks, perhaps even days, Varg may be able to help us during the day.
Can I even trust Fritz now?
Fritz looks at me with worry clear on his face. He draws closer to me, his hand reaching out for me. What? I pull back immediately, my breath caught in my throat.
Princess! For a moment, I just saw Varg.
What is going on?
Will you believe me if I'm straightforward?
Something's been wrong ever since we returned to the palace. Princess, please, Fritz Fritz clenches his hands into fists. His face twists with obvious pain. Please let me help you.
Fritz, I don't know how to explain.
He slowly moves toward me again. Okay, well, start from the beginning. Fritz carefully slides his hand over mine.
I can trust him, right?
Who are you asking that to?
Fritz, you're cursed.
Princess, you've been worried about me? There's actually no reason for you to be concerned about me, rather. Neither of us have actually seen this curse in action.
You're cursed and a separate cruel personality. It's one that has been scaring me and last night, Varg, you were going to kill Rod and Emmeline.
His gaze is a confused muddle of worry and doubt.
You don't believe me.
I do not doubt you, Princess, just confused. How could I not know about the existence of an alternate personality? Or about a curse inflicted on me? I pull my hand away from him and cross to the other side of my room so that my bed acts as a barrier between us.
But Varg knows you. How is it possible that Varg is so aware of you when you do not even know that he exists?
I begin to pace, my emotions whirling.
And how am I to trust you when you won't even trust me? You were supposed to believe me. How could you not? Why do you think I would lie about this? Last night I thought Varg was going to kill me, and I used that word you taught me because I felt I was in danger.
What?
What? I said it and he stopped, and I thought that maybe it was you who heard me say that word.
The word became tar in my throat, choking me.
I trusted you.
Fritz's eyes are dark as he drops his gaze to look solemnly on the floor. And now?
Now I don't know do not know if I am meant to.
Silence descends upon my room. When I finally look at Fritz again, the man I see is a stranger. Gone is the Fritz that I once knew, and standing in his place is nothing but a shadow.
I thought he'd be different. He showed me so much kindness and pretended to care, yet Mother was right. She's always right.
I feel a dull ache in my chest as I turn on my heels and look away from Fritz.
This is what happens when you trust someone. This is what happens when you begin to believe in others.
I gasp when I feel strong arms wrap around from behind. I can feel Fritz's warm breath against my back of my neck. It sends shivers tumbling down my spine.
Let go of me, Fritz.
No.
I order you to let go of me.
But Fritz only tightens his grip. While the warm embrace is suffocating, it is also oddly comforting. Sorry, Princess, I cannot be ordered to leave you like this. I swore an oath to you, and made a promise to myself that I will always stand by your side. No matter how much you push me away, I will always be here for you. From the day I was assigned to you, I saw how much you suffered. That's why I will protect you with everything I have. I bite my lip as I struggle to keep myself from crying.
How can I trust Fritz's word when Varg has done nothing but cause suffering to everyone around me?
But it seems like I've also been the one to cause you so much pain. He loosens his arms until I am no longer within his embrace. I suddenly feel cold and empty, but I do not move toward Fritz again. His voice is very soft when he speaks again. I'm sorry. I do not look up when he leaves.
You cannot rely on anyone but yourself. You cannot trust anyone but yourself. How could I have forgotten that?
If I had been able to have my way, I would not have left my room at all. After everything that has been requested and has happened, I do not think I want to know what Sir Mithros' request is. I'm also worried about this so-called wonderful gift he wants to show me.
Perhaps he means to kill me along with the king. Surely I should be more alarmed at this epiphany.
Yet, for some reason, I only feel numb. I do not acknowledge Varg when he enters the room. Princess? I'd ask what you're thinking about, but it's written all over your face. That, and I happen to have the memories of it too. Poor princess. Your knight in shining armor turned out to be less of a hero than you thought, hmm?
Stop it.
Hurts, doesn't it? Well, I did tell you. I wonder why you're so surprised.
Varg, you?
I think you are annoying our princess, Varg. Sir Mithras' presence for once is actually a relief. He bows to me, but I no longer believe the smile on his face. Princess, you have my most sincere thanks for agreeing to meet me at such late notice.
What is it that you want to show me, Sir Mithras? Actually, answer me this first, as it has been troubling me for some time. Why do you want to kill the king?
I see we have much to talk about. Let us walk and talk, if you do not mind. Sir Mithras looks at Varg. Do not disturb us, Varg. Varg disappears back into whatever shadow he emerged from as Sir Mithras and I make our way back into the hall. It seems my suspicions were correct. You did overhear Alcaster and I the other night, didn't you? Princess, I must assure you that I have nothing but your best wishes at heart. It is not I that wishes to remove your father from power. That is Sir Alcaster's desire.
Is this what Urian spoke of all those months ago? Did she discover Sir Alcaster's motives only to be discharged from the order as a result? Why did you agree to help him?
I required Sir Alcaster's assistance for certain things. It was a mutually beneficial decision for both of us to work together. But do not worry, I never had any intention of going through with your father's murder.
Is this why you're delaying him until after my birthday?
Sir Mithras' smile is almost genuine. My princess is wise, just like her mother. I realize that Sir Mithras has led me through the secret tunnels.
Where are you taking me now?
My princess is also impatient, just like her mother.
The impudence of this man. You said Varg answered to you, but he has also carried out Sir Alcaster's orders.
It was Sir Alcaster's desire to take over NGL as cleanly as he could. He sought to accomplish that by killing all those who had a claim to the throne.
So Rod and Emmeline.
But I was never going to let him kill you. In exchange for ensuring your safety, Sir Alcaster required, among the other things, a servant. So I provided him with one. Sir Alcaster needed someone that could remain close to him, hidden in plain sight, so to speak. He also required that they have the skills of a trained knight. Sir Fritz Route was capable of guarding you, my princess, but he was not capable of carrying out Sir Alcaster's other orders.
But why go through such lengths to curse Fritz?
Princess. Sir Mithras focuses his intent gaze on me. Something dangerous and bright shimmers in his eyes. I shrink back. Any threat to your life had to be removed. Besides, I'm under the impression that your loyal knight will be happy to sacrifice part of himself in order to become the perfect guardian.
What do you gain from doing all of this?
I require something from you, something only you can provide. It is something I had to wait for as you need to be 18 in order to give it to me. I have been preparing this gift for you a long time, my princess. It is the gift of resurrection. I will bring back the queen.
What?
Will you help me? Mama is dead! Only a name.
Mother has been dead for years. If she had been alive, I would have known.
Your mother sustained great injuries during the Great War. She needed time to heal.
Then, where has she been, and why would she pretend to be dead? Why would she leave me alone?
Your mother is sleeping, and you are the only one that can wake her.
Why me?
My princess, you are the heir to more than just the kingdom of Angio. Queen Hildyr was the bearer of the Crystallum Tenebrarum, one of the 2 Crystallums of Angio.
What?
As her daughter, you are the next bearer. You are destined to be the Great Witch, just like your mother.
My mother? A witch? Impossible.
It is the truth. You were so young then, my princess, and the world was so cruel to you.
Why do I not remember any of this?
The queen sought to protect you and shrouded your memories of the pain you suffered at the hand of humans.
Is this why the people of Angel despise and fear me?
But once you turn 18, you will inherit the full abilities of the TB bear. With that power, you can revive your mother. Is this not what you've been dreaming of since you lost her? I dared not even dream this was possible. For so many years, all I wanted was for Mother to return to me.
But now... No, I cannot falter.
Mother was the only person I could trust. She is the only person who loves me. I have made my decision.
Tell me what I must do.
Sir Mithros smiles and steps aside. Behind him is a large rusty door. Come with me.
Mom!
She is still as beautiful as the day she became one with the TB. Sir Mithros reverently strokes his hand across the TB as if caressing Mother's face. These last 4 years I've come to visit her as much as I possibly can, but I cannot wait for her beauty. But I cannot wait to see her beauty grace the halls of the palace once more. Sir Mithros turns to me. Place your hands on the TB.
Wait, before I do this, Sir Mithros, you said you had no desire to kill the king.
Yes.
Swear to me that you will not allow Sir Alcaster's plans to succeed. Swear that you will protect the lives of the royal family.
I do not wholly understand why I am asking this of Sir Mithros, yet a part of me feels compelled to do so.
I may not see them much as a family, but they have done nothing to deserve death.
My princess.
Swear it?
Very well. I swear I shall not allow Sir Alcaster to kill any of the royal family. Happy 18th birthday! The clock tower chimes. The bell echoes in the chamber, the sound dull and eerie. Sir Mithros' eyes flash as he gestures his hands wildly. Now, princess, now! The air in the room becomes cold, so cold I actually feel my body becoming like ice.
Something's wrong. This doesn't feel right.
I try to move away, but my attempts are thwarted by some kind of magical force.
The TB is pulling me toward it! Sir Mithros!
It is too late to turn back now, princess.
No!
The pull is strong. I am drawn to it like a magnet. The invisible force renders me a puppet. It takes a hold of my body and forces me to raise my hand to the crystal. I press my hands against the face of the TB, my hands framing my mother's face. Her expression is gentle in her unnatural sleep. The TB is freezing beneath my fingertips at first, but it steadily begins to warm as the clock continues counting down to 12. The warmer the TB grows, the colder my body feels.
It feels like it's sapping all of my energy, like the TB is feeding off of me.
The pain starts slow. It creeps up and out until it is flooding my entire body. I attempt to twist my body away from the TB's surface, but my hands are stuck. I turn to Sir Mithros for help, but there is nothing but crazed glee in his smile. Yes, yes! His eyes are focused on the crystallized form of my mother. I became dimly aware of the tears that are beginning to fall from my eyes.
I cannot go on like this.
My vision starts to blur until I feel myself falling into endless darkness. Wait. Did I mess up?
Mother?
Yes, my sweet.
What are you doing here?
I am planning, dearest one. Mother has to be ready when she takes over NGL.
But doesn't Father rule NGL?
Oh, sweet. Father will soon be too tired to rule. Mother will rule for him, and when you are grown, you will follow in my footsteps. I will make NGL a kingdom to behold, my darling. You will never be hurt, and no one shall deny you anything. The people will bend to your will. and will behave as they ought to.
There will be no bad people?
No, dearest one, there will be no bad people in our kingdom. I'll make sure of that. That's called a dictatorship. Perspective.